Hi everyone, Christine Lewis here with the second part of my testimony about how I had to walk through a dark season of illness, but how the Lord had gave me His word and trusted me. Actually, I discovered that when the Lord speaks His word into your life, He's actually entrusting you to use it. You know, to do with it what you know to do with it. And anyway, it's a retrospective lesson there. But anyway, yeah, the Lord had given me a word, a very specific word that said, Christine, there'll be talk of disease, but pay no heed to it, for it will come to nothing. And shortly after the Lord gave me that word, I was found to have a 10 centimetre tumour. They weren't sure, the medical profession at that time weren't sure if it was lodged in my bowel or if it was lodged in the ovary. But they were 99.999% sure that this was a cancer. They went on my blood markers, and all various other kinds of tests that I had. And so I think I ended the last video where I was cap and gowned. I'd had this woman from the oncologist team who had come alongside, and I think I said, as regards this woman, she was like the devil personified to me. So she came up to me. Get the picture now, I'm flat on my back, cap and gown, ready to go down to have this tumour removed. And this woman comes in with these folders under her arm, and she tells me that I definitely have cancer, that it's a malignant cancer, and it's gone up into my stomach. And then she sort of put her face right into mine, and she looked me square in the eyes. She showed me, first of all, where it was written. It is written. It is written, cancer, malignant, stomach. And then she put her face in mine, looked me square in the eyes, and then she said, now, Mrs. Lewis, will you accept this? Wow, a shudder went through me, I tell you. And like I said in the last video, I think I swore slightly. And I, sent her away with a whopping big flea in her ear. Anyway, so where we're at in the testimony is that I went down for surgery and they removed the tumour. The following day, one of the oncologist team came, and I remember he stood at the end of my bed, and he was a black guy, and he had these, like, what I remember is his brilliant white teeth, and he stood at the end of my bed with this great big smile and these great big white teeth shining away, and he just said, Mrs. Lewis, we are really pleased with what we've found. Then the lady who came and sat next to my bed, will you accept this? She came in, no files under her arm this time, I have to say. She came in, and again she stood at the edge of my bed, and she said, well, Mrs. Lewis, we are very pleased with what we have found. And then the oncologist came in, the specialist, the big dog, He came in, and the chap that I was having this tennis match with throughout my consultations with him, because he kept telling me it was cancer, and because I had this word, I was saying to him, but what if it isn't? And he'd say, but Mrs. Lewis, it is. And I'd be, but what if it isn't? It is, but what if it isn't? And so he stood at the edge of my bed. And this man didn't even say a word. He just looked down at me and just smiled. And he stood there what felt like the longest time. What it's like when nobody's speaking. And many can feel like, I don't know, many can feel like an hour, can't it? And so he just stood there for the longest time at the edge of my bed and just smiled. And he walked away. And I think I probably had to wait, I think it was probably about 4 weeks, somewhere around that time period, for the official results. But before I tell you the official result, let me you've got a good idea what the official result is, because, we're really pleased with what we found. But the day of the operation, this is again just another part of a beautiful, powerful, wonderful, faithful, loving God when we find ourselves in these dark, dark situations, dark, dark times. And the night of the operation, I was sort of in my bed, obviously, you know, with me dripping, and you know how we are. And opposite the bed that I was in, on the wall, was the clock. So I was very much aware all the time, all through the night, of what time it was. I had like a little morphine feed, you know, as they give you. And so I'm in the bed, and I'm waking up every half an hour because I can see the clock. I know it's every half an hour. And I'm pressing the morphine and so forth. But here's the thing. Every single time I woke up, there's no exception to this, every single time, which is probably about every half an hour, there were these two nurses right next to my bed. Every single time. I saw the one on the right of me, but I never saw the one on the left, although I knew she was there. I knew there was a nurse there, somebody there. And the one on the right of me, she was like a small lady, and she had this dark hair and this big streak of grey going right through her hair. And every time I woke up, she was either puffing up my pillows, or she was stroking my hair. She was just being so affectionate and loving and caring all through the night. Now, I ask you, for any of you who've had any experience of being in hospital, have you ever had a nurse assigned to you and you only, all through the night, stroking your hair, puffing up your pillows, all through the night now? Not just an odd little visit, I'm talking about all through the night. No, of course you don't. And then finally, this woman said to me, I woke up and she was stroking my hair, and then she kissed me there on the forehead. And as she kissed me on the forehead, she said to me, I have to go now, Christine. And that was it. And she went, and I never saw her again all through my hospital time. And for me, that was an angelic presence that the Lord had sent me to look after me. And nobody will tell me any different. I don't know of any nurses that would even dream to kiss you on the forehead and tell you they've got to go home now. She didn't even say home, she just said, I've got to go now, Christine. So bless God, eh? So there was I came in from a dark place. I'd gone away from the Lord as I shared my testimony in the last video. So I'd come in from a dark, cold place. I was up to my neck in pig swill, from the world. I'd gone away from the Lord. The Lord washed me down, hosed me down. And just like the prodigal son and the father, he put the ring on my fingers. He cloaked me. He clothed me again with royal robes, and he just cared for me. When immediately I came back, this diagnosis happened, and so here is the Lord sending an entourage from heaven. Go look after my girl. And oh dear, this is far too emotional for me. And so anyway, so at the end of it all, I went back for the final conclusion, and I sat in this office, and the words that were spoken to me were these wonderful words: Mrs. Lewis, go home and never think about this again. And so that was it. They'd put this thing under the microscope, and there was no cancer in this 10-centimetre tumour. Will you accept this? I mean, that is a really poignant question, isn't it? I think that the enemy puts to us in all kinds of situations, not just your health. I mean, that's a biggie, but it's not just your health, is it? It's in any kind of adverse situation. the unspoken question, the question that is flying around in the atmosphere of your life during those times is, will you accept this? When poverty is bombarding our lives, will you accept this? That this is your normal. Poverty is your normal. Sickness is your normal. Will you accept this? And we, as God's people, created in his image for his glory, we have to learn to say, don't we? It is written. It is written that my God is a faithful God. He's a loving God. He's a good God. And the thing with it is written, which is what I've discovered, over a long period of time, the thing with it is written is this: it's not enough for us to know that it is written. We have to go one step further than that and know that it is written in me. When Jesus was faced, with Satan in that one-to-one, and Jesus said to him, it is written, it is written, it is written. What he was saying was, it is written in me. And so, bless God. That's my testimony anyway, and my time's gone. And so I just want to encourage you, get the word, believe the word. Believe that your God is who he says he is, and that he will come up trumps for you. In the name of our precious, loving, glorious, faithful, beautiful Heavenly Father.